Drawlloween and Inktober again. This is the demon angry. You can see I'm laying out the muscle structure and stuff here. And I kind of had an idea of what I wanted, but then it changed and I thought I was going to put like this big spike through its back, but I decided not to do that. And then I go in and make this tighter. Once again, I keep reiterating this because I think this is very important to say. No reference. This is not to say that if I finish this out, I wouldn't take a very simple 3D model and pose it. I'd use DAZ Studio. That's my 3D modeling. It's not really you don't model with it, but they have 3D models where you could adjust the lighting, and I can get a body type that's very similar to this particular demon, pose it, light it, and then I can paint it. But I only want to do that once I have my art out there. This is my voice. This is me doing this drawing with no reference because I think that it's important for me to do that here. Certain things, maybe I might start out with some reference automatically, and reference is used in so many different ways. But I just wanted to show that I'm not looking at anything while I'm doing this. This is all coming from my head. There's nothing wrong with looking at a picture and drawing it and reproducing it, and there are a lot of artists that if you're under deadlines, I understand how it is. So I don't want to disparage anybody who's out there making art full time. We have seen that a lot. Well, not a lot, but you do see that, and you could tell when someone just looked at a photograph and either put a Photoshop filter over it or just reproduced it. And there are people that have full-on careers that do that. However, I am not one of those artists. I don't want to be one of those artists because that becomes a crutch. And I'm sure you've heard a lot of times, don't let your references become a crutch. And that is what happens is that you become stale. And no other way to put it, your shit gets stale. It just gets stagnant. And you can't find yourself doing anything. Now you realize, looking on this, I drew everything on the same level and it drove me nuts. And so then I had to go around and erase everything in between when I should have just put it on a separate level. But this was a happy accident for me because what I wound up doing was within Mischief, I wound up going back and putting in a little bit of form and some texture. I went old school like I was looking at some Bernie Wrightston, and he inspires me. But he really inspired me just looking at his. If you guys haven't checked it out, on my Patreon page, not Patreon, I'm sorry, on my Pinterest page, I have a full section on Bernie Wrightston, who is an amazing artist, one of my absolute favorite artists. Go check his stuff out. Just some really awesome line work that I can't think of any modern artist that can do a line work like that. But I started doing this. I started going in and just doing some old school comic book line art. And this turned out to be one of my favorite drawings that I did. So, and I kind of use this a little bit with a lot of the other Inktober drawings that I did. So, and this really made me kind of like Made with Mischief a whole lot more. So I'm going to end this right now. Don't forget to subscribe, please.